Welcome to the Art Lady channel. Today's lesson is on gingerbread cookies, and we're going to make our own gingerbread cookie. We can make it a boy or a girl, and we're going to be using lots of pattern today. And we're going to be using patterns with color and also patterns with line. Before we draw the gingerbread cookie, let's look at some of the ingredients in a real gingerbread cookie. To make a gingerbread cookie, we use the salt and flour and sugar and butter, but we also use special spices to make it flavorful, like molasses and ginger and cinnamon. Then we mix all of our dry ingredients together first in a mixing bowl. Then we add the wet ingredients, like our egg and molasses and butter. And then we need to knead the dough and then roll it out with a rolling pin. Once we roll out our dough, we cut out the shapes with cookie cutters. That's the fun part. Then we bake them in the oven, not too long. And then we decorate, which is also my favorite part. We use various little candies and frostings to decorate the cookies. It's a fun time to gather with family and friends. To make the gingerbread boy or girl, you want to start with the paper and you want to hold it vertically, which is the long way, so the short line is closer to your stomach. Then what we're going to do is you want to go to the top of your page, and we're just going to jump down a little bit and put a guideline. And that's in the middle of our page. From here, if you take your fist, close your hand, and make what's called a fist, I'm going to line my fist up with this line here on my page. And then at the bottom of my fist, where my fist meets the page, I'm going to put a mark. That's going to tell me how big my head needs to be. If you look here, your fist takes up the whole head. You can find something at home if you want that fits that shape. For example, this is masking tape, or you can find containers that might be that same size and trace that. Or you can just draw a giant letter C. So you would start here to make your circle, down, around, and right to that line. You can do the same on the other side, over, around, and right back to that line. That's going to make a giant circle the size of your fist. From here, we want to come out and out. So I'm going to make a curve under his head. I'm going to curve down and back. Curve it down and back. It looks like this would be a backwards letter C, and this would be the letter C. Now we're going to come all the way to the very edge of our page. I'm going to stop right before I get to the actual edge. I'm going to do the same on this side, right to the edge. Then we're going to curve. This is going to be a large letter C. And when I make the large letter C, I'm going to make it wider than my finger. So you see your finger when you put it down? You're going to come around past your finger down here. So if you put a little mark, I line up my finger, put a mark past your finger. See how it's bigger than my finger? That way I come down and around, and it's a thick line. a thick space coming around. I'm going to do the same on this side. Down and around. And then I'm going to come into the body. Into the body. You want to leave, you don't want to come in too far. See the neck area here? You want to take the neck area and drop down a little bit over. This is toward his shoulder. So here's my neck. I'm going to come over, drop down, and that's where my arm is going to end. From the neck area, I'm coming over and drop down. So these arms will come in as far as right past the neck. You don't want to come in too much. You want to give him some body. So this forms the arms with the body, or what we call the torso. Now we're going to draw the legs coming down. So we're going to do a diagonal line coming down almost to the bottom of that page. So I'm going to curve this down and out almost to the bottom of that page. Notice I did not touch the bottom. I left a little space. I'm going to do the same on this side. Down, diagonal. It's coming out. And I almost touch the bottom. I leave a little space. If you want to make a gingerbread girl shape, you just continue this straight across. And this can become the gingerbread girl's dress. So that's how you would do the girl. Now, if you're going to do a gingerbread boy, you come around and back up. And that's past about 2 fingers wide. So for the boy, I curve it down 2 fingers wide. That means I measure with my fingers. I see the line on this side, and then I can put a line here. When you put your fingers down, you need to see the line and see a little bit of space. Can you see how I see a little bit of space around the edges of my finger? And then I just come down and connect. And I'm going to do the same on this side. Come down and around. I want it to be at least 2 fingers. And I'm going to come down and around. That way I have 2 thick legs. And then for the center of the legs, I come diagonally up, and then you can just curve this. So now I have my gingerbread boy shape. Now let's see about decorating. How can we decorate our gingerbread? We want to decorate the gingerbread with some frosting. And I'm going to show you clips on how we decorate a real gingerbread cookie. You'll see how you pipe on the frosting and put the decorations on. When you decorate a real gingerbread cookie, you add white frosting or a colored frosting as a base, and then that acts as a glue. Here's the glue for the eyes, and then you just simply apply the little candies, and the candies will stick to the frosting. You can also use the white frosting, and you can pipe it. It's called. Piping is like squeezing the frosting out to create your design. I'm going to make long hair here. And I can squeeze out, which is using the piping bag, a happy smile as well. And I can place a little frosting, which acts as glue, for a little nose. And then you add your candy. And that's how somebody would decorate a real gingerbread cookie.
Loopy here. And I'll do one more page too, because
I'm adding little circle cheeks at the end of the mouth, like so. And then I'm going to add a pattern of white dots on the edge of her collar. And the candies are what are used to make your patterns. So these are the little candies, and I just add them for pattern. The snowman has a scarf that's made of green icing, and then it has small little, we call them jimmies, as pattern that forms the stripes. So the red and green are the pattern. You can do your own gingerbread cookie and decorate it using your imagination. I also have for my students a gingerbread worksheet. And if you want to have access to this worksheet, click on the title of the video and you will find a link to a Patreon account. Otherwise, just pause the video as you're looking at my worksheet. Or you can always look on the internet and look up some gingerbread images as well. But here on the worksheet, I have examples of faces that you can use. I have eye examples. And there's button examples. Fun different patterns that you can do. This would be the icing right here. I also have shoes, if you want to decorate different kinds of shoes, or candies, and little holly, and greenery. This is some lights. Maybe your gingerbread person's holding a set of lights. And then here's some patterns down here and designs for clothing. So you can decide how you want to decorate your gingerbread. Now let's look at some real gingerbread cookies and see how we've decorated them. And there is the completed gingerbread boy. He's got dried cherry shoes and candies for the eyes and cheeks and belt and jimmies for the collar. And there is our little Santa gingerbread. And here is a little gingerbread with red cheeks and a little red skirt. And here are some fun gingerbread cookies that might inspire your artwork today. When you do your gingerbread cookie, now that you are inspired by some ideas, you want to make sure that you make all of the facial features nice and large. You don't want to do them really small. For example, if I'm going to do some eyes, and I'm just going to draw some gingerbread eyes here from the worksheet, I'm going to do 2 straight lines. Then I'm going to put some curved lines in here. This is going to be the eyelashes coming out. And then I do an N-shaped curve and an N-shaped curve. Now this is just one way of doing your decorations. If you want to follow along with me, you can. I put in an N curve here. And now I'm coloring in the center. So I have my eyes done. I'm going to put some eyebrows because oftentimes we see little eyebrows on the gingerbread man. And these are just kind of N-shaped curves. And I'm just going to do a little N curve here, which means you just go up and down. And then I like to put these cheeks, little circles for cheeks when I decorate my gingerbread. And the cheeks are almost as big as your fingers. If you take your finger and put it down, you can see. I put the cheek on each side, and now you just connect it with a curve down and up. And this is a U curve, we call it, because we go down and up. And then I like to put this icing around my gingerbread, which is a curvy line. I'm gonna do an N curve, and then I just do a wave. I take my time when I do these curves, and I go slowly back and in, just slowly in, and I'll just connect it. Oftentimes the gingerbread in the very middle has a bow or a tie or a scarf. So now you can decide what you want underneath the face. Is yours going to be a collar or a bow or a scarf? I'll make this one with a scarf. So we connect. I'm just going to use the line I already have here. Connect with another line, and then the scarf comes down. So I'm just going to do a line coming down, over, and a line going back up. And I can put a smaller scarf in here, just come over and back. This is the other part of the scarf after it's tied, but oftentimes it's different sizes. Fringe comes off the scarf. And again, you don't have to do this. You can make your own. Some kids just like to follow me. I'm adding stripes to my scarf because part of our goal is to add pattern to our gingerbread cookies. So this forms a pattern by adding neat lines forming stripes. And I'll do the same inside this smaller scarf. Now we want to decorate. You can put some clothes on your gingerbread. And again, you can put patterns on your clothes. I'm going to put some pants on my gingerbread. And a shirt. Now you can have fun decorating the rest of your gingerbread. Once you've finished all your designs, and I added a little bit of pine greenery at the top here, I'm tracing around the edges to make it the cookie show from the gingerbread. I'm just coming in and around all the parts that I drew to make it look like this is the gingerbread cookie part. And then of course all the decorations are the frosting part. So this is another detail if you'd like to do. You can add this and it just gives another dimension to the gingerbread cookie. I went down and around the feet. And you can even do it inside here too if you'd like, right around the head. And I do it, it's about 1/4 of an inch, and I'm tracing it around all the edges. And then this is the frosting part, because when you frost the cookie, sometimes you leave a little gap here, and you want that to show. And then there is my completed cookie. And let me show you some other examples here. I've got this one here, and then we've got this cookie. And here are some fun gingerbread cookies that might inspire your artwork today. I want to thank all of my patrons for supporting this channel, and if you would like to become a patron, just go ahead and click on the title of the video and it will take you to my Patreon account. I hope you have a great time creating your own gingerbread pitcher, and I would like to take this time to wish everybody a happy holiday. If you would like more information on how we made these gingerbread cookies, check out the Art Ladies Home channel directly underneath the title of the video.